Hey everyone, it's me, Nathan from Nathan's Way. I got some amazing news. I am going to be on Cakes and Ale this Sunday with Noah Tempestarii and Ravenflower. And I'm so excited. I love them to bits and pieces. And I will be on that live stream at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. I will leave the details below, but I'm very excited. I am so thrilled, and it really it makes me happy that someone thought of me eh, to invite me on their live. Um, I've been invited in the past, and I politely declined or said no, it's not for me to do lives with a lot of people I admire and I really love, and it's just I always got nervous. I always got these self doubts and crippling things like these imposter syndrome feels. And I've been shoving this imposter syndrome into the background and dismissing myself from certain events, certain social situations, and not really engaging with others on like in different areas because I always felt not necessarily out of place. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. Like what if I'm found out as a fraud, or what if they think this or that, or what if I'm not knowledgeable in this topic that they're talking about. And I I am at that point where I really need to re-examine this and look at this and really challenge myself to break out of that thought, because I know I am knowledgeable in a lot of different areas, and I know I'm always learning, and I'm just robbing myself out of experiences and opportunities because of my fear that is probably like not even there. Like like for example, one topic that was on repeat like 6 or 7 years ago when I first started was circle casting. A lot of YouTube witches were talking about casting circles. How do you cast circles? Or like the fundamentals and basics of casting circles. And in my practice, I never really thought of casting circles. I always did like a weird hand gesture and envisioned my space, myself protected, so I can focus a lot of my energy into the working I was um, I was performing, or I am performing. And I always thought if that came out, or if we talked about the casting circles, like I only traditionally casted a circle once or twice when I realized, yeah, this setup is not for me. And I learned it with a couple friends and they taught me, and I know, but I just never gave it the time of day in everyday use or every ritual use. And when people invited me into live streams back then, I was like, oh god, what if we talk about this subject and like they look at me weird because I just do this and that's how I cast a circle. And is that legitimate? Is it not? Is it what would they think? Like those were legitimate thoughts I had. And it would also be like different topics as well. Like, oh, tarot readings, tarot. Um, yeah, I'm dyslexic and it takes me twice as long to learn a tarot deck. they might think of me as an imposter if I still use the book. And I've had tarot readings where the people who I trust the most and who are top, like, amazing tarot readers and top of their field gave a reading to me, and they've used a book. So it's it's I always avoided social situations where I feel like I was going to be called out for not knowing or not understanding, or like not being all knowing. And looking back, it's so silly. It's funny because no one knows everything. Like, it's mentally and physically impossible to know every bit of knowledge on this earth. Except if you're Amy on Jeopardy, because I swear she knows almost everything. I'm rooting for her. But yeah, it's a thing, and it I dissected this a lot, especially in the past couple weeks when I was invited, because I was very hesitant. Like, I was very honored, but I was also very hesitant and very worried because of these not mental blocks I had. And it's just, it's okay to have those mental blocks, but it's how you go about it. And I decided I'm gonna take this time to work on myself. And so I dissected a lot of this and found the root of it. Because when I was 15, I had no problem with social situations, with talking to people, with going to big events, going to shows, and now later in life, going to a show, like, I don't know how to be at shows sometimes, or how to act at shows, or like what is socially acceptable or not. Because in the last 15 years, I was in the last 15 years, a lot of things changed. And in my 20s, I was in a 3-year relationship that I wasn't allowed to go to shows unless my the person I was with at the time was either playing me or allowed me to go. And I lost my early 20s. And during that time, I developed an insecurity. I developed a hesitation in a lot of situations. Like, the first time I went to a gay bar, I was 24, 5, 25. It was like right when I left my relationship, and I was like a deer in the headlights. I felt out of place. I felt like I literally just sat at a bar with a beer and just did this. And like, I went to the dance floor, and it felt very high school, like the high school cliques. Like, it didn't feel comfortable. And I just, after an hour and a half, I just left and went home. And I just, I felt bad for even attempting, because I just felt so out of place. I didn't know how to interact. I didn't know people. And I was worried about going up to people and saying, "Hey, I'm Nathan. Like, want to dance and want to have fun." Like, just. And then when I started going back to shows, like metal and punk shows, it was like it was a whole new place because I didn't know whether I could mosh or not. Like, I love moshing. I think it's amazing, but like now you have like is being in a mosh pit, like if I hurt someone, will they be like, the basics of a mosh pit is you're all consensually like pushing each other around, and then when someone falls down you pick them up. But like in this world I double question it. I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, is it okay? Like, I'm 30 years old, I love the mosh pit, but like, is it socially acceptable still? Can I crowd surf? Like, can I stage dive? Like, can I do all those things? And I'm learning. I'm still learning and growing. And for the first 5 years of me going back to shows, I would be behind my camera, not living in the moment. Just like, I would stand in the back like this, stand in the back and just watch and just do this. And like, and I felt lost. I really felt I felt lost getting back into punk and metal, and I still haven't fully integrated myself back into those music scenes because I still feel out of place. And you know, it's okay. I feel like in time I will get back into it. I will get back into being, because back when I was 15, those places felt like home to me. Now I feel like an outsider looking in and just watching a lot of the younger generations make the same mistakes I made, and I'm like, "Oh, kid, please don't. You're going to be okay, but can you make better?" And that is not my place, but like, I just notice these patterns, and I'm I just don't know. I'm still learning and gonna go forth. I was supposed to go to a show last weekend called 40 Fest in Atlanta. I was really looking forward to it, but fucking COVID. Fucking COVID. Ugh. And then what else? Shopping for clothes. Like, my clothing style has changed so much. Like, I still love my patched up vest, my ripped jeans, and like my band tees and my hoodies, and I still love all that, but I noticed that I am dressing with how I feel now. Like, I wear a lot more earth tones. I wear a lot more plaid. I wear a lot more earth comfort feels. And that's what makes me feel good. I I have this hoodie. I feel comfortable. Like, I dress how I feel and how I want to present. It's like glamour magic, which is a whole nother video. But uh, I found some shops that are small businesses. They have really nice clothing, and you see a lot of the button downs I wore I got from that small shop. But every time I go in, I still feel out of place. Like looking around, and as if I'm not allowed to buy these clothes, or these clothes were not made for me, or I'm not, like, yes, I have money to spend on these clothes, but will I be like will I be judged for wearing them, you know? And yeah, it hurts still. It mentally hurts that I still think that way. Like, I remember wanting to dress up this one time, and like, I forget where I was. I dressed up and someone made a comment, was like, why the hell are you wearing that? I'm like, because I like it. Like, and that was 16, 17, 18 year old me. Like, not understanding, like how someone could be like that. Like, I feel good wearing it. Why can't I wear it? And I still have trauma. I'm working out with my clothing, with what I wear, with what I want to wear, what I see for myself. And that is okay. I'm making strides. Like, I wear whatever I want to wear. That is the bottom line. Yes, will interactions at shops be weird? Yeah, shopping is weird. But the owner of this store really helped me out by giving me stuff to try on that he thought I liked, and I felt really warm and comfort. Like, I get the initial shock of like some of these stores I walk in and I feel automatically judged. But then when an owner or someone comes up, it's like, "Hey, how are you? What are you looking for? What can I help you with?" Like, I don't normally like when I go to big stores and someone's all over you, thinking that you're like, why are you here? Like, why are you bothering me? But when it comes to small time shopping, and the owner comes out and starts handing you things to try on to make you feel good about yourself, that is the best feeling ever. And I noticed breaking out of my shell, trying new things, and examining where some of this hurt and trauma comes from is beneficial. I went to a museum in Salem by myself. It was the most amazing time. I had a horrible day, or I had a horrible morning, and I decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to Salem, Mass. I'm going to see this exhibit that I was dying to see by myself with my phone turned off. I am not going to take any pictures, and the only proof I have are souvenirs. And not one person could tell me no, or I did not belong, or whatnot. And people were kind and generous and asking me questions and not caring how I looked or what was going on. They just were there to enjoy the experience with me. And these are random people I've never met before. And I had no obligation to sticking around with these people all day. I just talked to them at the museum and then enjoyed that experience, and then we went our separate ways. There was no judgment, no pressure. And breaking out of my comfort zone like that, I think, is what's going to help me. Breaking out of my comfort zone, trying new things, doing things, because I used to do this before my early 20s. I used to not care. I used to go forth, be that be that fool card and just jump off the cliff and experience life, travel, like, say, to hell with it, I'm going to this city and no one can tell me no. And I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. And I think that I I think I want to experience and be that kid again, and not necessarily relive my 20s, because I ain't 20 no more, but do the things that I felt like I missed out on. Like, jump off that cliff again, go forth. And I am so grateful for Noah, Tempestarii, and Ravenflower for thinking of me, to inviting me on their platform and just talk. I don't have any clue what we're talking about. Everything and anything's open. Am I nervous? Yes. Have I made notes? Like, I literally made notes of uh like reminding me not to do my nervous, like, my nervous habits, like, uh yeah, I made a note, think before my, or one note says think before I speak. One note says as don't drink when you're being talked to, or or just random silly notes. But I'm really excited, and I I genuinely think that I genuinely think that this is going to be a positive experience, and I'm just happy. I'm just so happy. Well, anyways, it's been 20 minutes, and I just want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. It's been 6 or 7 years since I've been on YouTube, and it's just, it's been a wild ride. I've met amazing people. It's been amazing, and I'm happy. I'm happy to have done this. Yeah, so, anyways, if you want to follow my journey, see where I go, or if you want to take a swing on with me with this porch swing in future videos, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that little notifications button down below for more updates. And come and watch me live this Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, much love and best wishes. Bye, everyone.